Hey guys, I got one. Retron 5. It does exist. I got it today. They came into video game heaven. And here is my review on the Retron 5. Controller, Bluetooth. It actually feels really good. And I'm going to show you more about this in a little bit, but this is just me pulling it out of the package to show it to you here. Get a good look. I had a chance to play one of these earlier, and I'm going to play this one for you here in just a minute and show you. It actually feels really comfortable in your hands. So, very cool. Alright, point number one I wanted to make about this system. These little doors, which may not seem important, I hate when they feel cheap, and these do not feel cheap at all. You can tell these springs are just of better quality. It shuts itself very well. They're like heavy doors, basically. It doesn't feel cheap or lightweight. So I really enjoy that. And that's just one of the small things I really liked about this console. And I'm about to get into some more stuff here. Let's see. We've got a very high quality instruction manual here. It's like a booklet. And this thing just runs through everything you could possibly want to know about this console. Different button mapping, as you can see there was a, yep, there's the power base converter for Master System. Yep, got my HDMI cord and my charge cable for my controller there, so I'm going to unpack those and we're going to get this thing hooked up and rolling, so let's do it. Alright, we have power. Here we go. Very cool. Alright, already navigating the menu, I've got play. Got game menu here, which will take me to my cheats and whatnot. Got settings, which will take me to all the different settings and things I want to set up. And you got power off. And of course you got this fun little noise that it makes. Kind of reminiscent of retro games, pretty cool. You can turn that off if you want to. I just turned mine down a little bit. We're just going to get into playing some games here, so I'm going to pick the first one. Here we go. Alright, so I picked Dragon Warrior 6. I'm putting in the cartridge now. There it goes, we're loading up. This is a Super Famicom game, by the way. Boom, loaded the save file. Yes. And we're going to play. Alright, here we go. I'm hoping you guys can see this alright. And I have my controller mapped where I can switch through all the different settings and whatnot, so I'm going to go ahead and do that for you guys. Alright, so as you can see, here we are at the title screen. Just going to zoom in for you. And this is going to show you the difference. This is just on normal here, so this is just HDMI. No fancy filters or anything like that. And it just looks crisp. It looks fucking great. So here we go, we're going to start doing some of the filters. Just going to zoom in over here, you see all these pixels. Here we go, it's the first filter. And already it's just, that's clean as hell. Second filter. Third filter. And this one's more pixelated, but it does give a little bit of depth to certain things, so It really just depends on your personal preference on what you want to do with these filters. Then we're back to none here. We're about to see it do a demo. Alright, so as of right now we have no filters on. Here's a filter. There's another one. There you go. That one's called Super Eagle, and I think this one looks pretty good for this game. And I have found that different ones look better for different games, and it all really is personal preference. So overall, I'm highly, highly impressed with this image quality. I mean, it's just nice as hell. Also, when you pull out the game, it'll give you this little error message. Error, the cartridge was removed, and then it says return to main menu there. I don't know if you can see that from your angle. But yeah, you just click and return to the main menu. It's no problem just to pull a cartridge out while playing, so kind of interesting. Alright, next I'm going to show you guys a Mega Drive game. It's the only Mega Drive game I have. It's The Incredible Hulk. I bought this at a flea market because it was complete and it was in really good condition. I didn't even realize that it was a Mega Drive game because it looks so much like a Sega Genesis game. And I'm finally getting a chance to play it, so here we go. And this I was playing a little bit earlier, so it went from right where I was. And as you can see, it looks great. It looks absolutely fabulous. And the sound is just wonderful too. They've really done a hell of a job here. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit more. Alright, so now I'm going to check out a game called EVO, Search for Eden, for the Super Nintendo. And as you can see, it says unknown cartridge up there. And when I click to play it, it gives me this message basically saying, do I want to attempt to run it? And I do, and apparently this is something they're going to patch later for some of the games that aren't recognized. But it does indeed play. Beautiful. Absolutely awesome looking. We're going to get into this game just because it's a pretty good looking game and I want to show off a little bit of this. There's also a fast forward hotkey that you can add to it. I'm going to show you some of the differences here. There's no filter here, okay? That's nothing. Got one. This one, I think the HQ2X looks best. Alright, so we're going to move on to another game. Alright, we're going to try out Gremlins 2, the new batch for original Game Boy. I'm going to reset this. There's little Gizmo. And I mean, already this is amazing. For me to be able to play this on my TV like this and it look this good is just outrageous. It looks wonderful. So stoked about this. We're gonna do Game Boy Color and then Game Boy Advance, and then I'm just gonna be showing you some different things. I'm gonna do NES. We're gonna just show off some of the graphics and different things. So here we go. And here we have Wario Land 3. Which looks absolutely awesome. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I mean, this is just outrageously nice. And I will say this about the controller, it's awesome. I feel almost as if I would use that more often than I would use the original controllers, and I never thought in a million years I would say that, but it's just a really nice controller. So something for you guys to think about. It's definitely not horrible. We tried it out at my work, and we had a guy go like 50 yards away outside the building, and it was still responding. So there's not any of the problems with the old controllers. I mean, it just looks great. And of course, show it without the... This is no filter, so even without a filter, this looks absolutely awesome. I'm going to go on to Game Boy Advance now. Alright, we got Game Boy Advance on here. No filters. There you go, got a filter on now. This is Wario Land 4, it's one of my favorite games. Get ready to check this out. And this just is awesome to see on my TV. Skip that and get to this menu. Awesome. Alright, now we got Rescue Rangers 2. And this just looks awesome as well. That's no filter. Controller's very responsive. I'm only playing with one hand, but alright, we're going to move on to some other stuff now. Alright, and here we go with some Double Dragon for Sega Genesis. A lot of my friends don't have this one on Sega, so figured I'd show it off a little bit. This is already a great looking game. Getting my ass handed to me with one controller, or one hand on the controller anyway. One controller. By the way, it comes with one controller, oddly enough. So, you will end up having to get an extra one or using some of your old ones or something if you want to do 2-player, which would be sweet on a game like this. But honestly, I'm just blown away by this console and how it looks and, you know, how good the controller actually is. Yeah, buddy. There's a $10,000 bounty on your hide. Yeah. And last but not least, I'm going to show you Hyperstone Heist on the Genesis. I tested a ton of games on this thing. I haven't had an issue so far. And it's just really amazing. And this one was a good example from earlier. I'm going to show you guys with and without the filters. It's got a filter on right now. So it just looks incredible. Look at that. That just, oh, it's ridiculous. Alright, here's where you're going to notice a pretty big difference. This is no filter, okay? Now the filter goes on. All kinds of different filters. That's kind of a more pixelated one. I use that sometimes for a Super Nintendo game and 16-bit games. It adds a little bit of depth to it, actually, and I kind of do like it. That's the Scale 2X one. This is the LQ 2X. And this is the HQ 2X. This one actually looks really good on this particular game. And I don't really know that this camera is even doing it justice, even though it's HD. But, I mean, it's just incredible. Even this looks amazing, I mean. There's none. Alright, here we have the in-game menu. I can return to the game. I can load a save state. I can save the game. I can turn on and off my filters if I don't have it already programmed to the controller. I can turn on and off scan lines. I can take a screenshot if I have an SD card. I can change the volume. And I can return to main menu, or I can reset the game. Alright, I'm just going to show you the game menu, what that does for you. You can go to cheats, copy your save file to the Retron for later if you don't trust your battery or if you're going to replace it. And you can copy the save back to the cart when you're done with it. So that's pretty awesome. You got our settings. I'm going to show you just a few things here. Overscan, force original resolution. That's interesting. I tried that with a Game Boy game. Force 60 Hertz, match game, force 50 Hertz. I try to leave it on match game. And really, these are all just personal preferences. Like, I can turn off that menu noise. And you just hear my controller clicking away. Manage Retron 5 controllers is where you can hotkey those different settings so you can swap through them real fast. You can button map on this thing. You can use all the original controllers on it, and you can use them on any system. So you can use a Super Nintendo controller to play your Sega Genesis games if you really want to. You got console region, auto load last save state, auto start a cartridge, file manager, all kinds of stuff here. Yeah, and that's really about it. And then you can power it off from here as well. So overall, I love the system. I absolutely love it. I was blown away by it today. I'm still blown away by it right now. Lots of positives. I mean, it plays all the games pretty much flawlessly. It has upgraded the picture and sound. The HDMI Out is incredibly convenient. This Bluetooth controller is actually really good, and I would use it, and I never thought in a million years I would say that. I guess the only complaints I have, if there are any to even be found, would be that the power cord is a bit short, so they might be able to work on that. You can't have more than one cartridge in at a time. I heard that they're going to patch that, though, so that's no problem. And other than that, well, the pins were a bit tight at the beginning, and that kind of reminded me of the Retron 3. But as I've taken in and out a couple games, they've gotten to be pretty normal now, and I don't have to really tug on them like I was at first. So, and I haven't really put a lot of cartridges in these. They've kind of, done it naturally. So, I'm more than happy with it. So I would highly recommend the Retron 5. If you love old school gaming and you already have a collection of these types of games, to me it's a serious no-brainer. I've never endorsed one of these products really before, in a big way anyway. Mostly they were just for the casual gamer before, but I feel like now they are for the hardcore collector and gamer that most of us are. And I hope you guys can get a hold of one of these. If not, well, if not, you might be waiting a little while. I had to pick mine up as soon as it came in. I was afraid that we'd sell out, and we did. So here's hoping you get one if you don't have one, and if you do have one, I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching.